I, like so many other people, absolutely love Lollipop Chainsaw and have been eagerly awaiting the release of RePOP. And while we definitely have had some worries regarding censorship, especially after the situation with Sony, Shift Up, and Stellar Blade, the producer is now trying to reassure fans that that is not going to happen with this game. I have a few things to show off, but before we get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, follow me on social media, and consider supporting through Patreon or through YouTube memberships. Now, over the past couple of years, I feel like this has been in a slightly rough place given we've seen a couple of delays. We initially were told it was a full-blown remake, and then it was shifted more so to something like a remaster. Now they're calling it RePOP. We definitely have had some reason to be worried, especially most recently with Stellar Blade. We thought that that game was going to be perfect. Even days before release, they were boasting about how it was going to be uncensored worldwide, and then we figured out that that was not the truth. While Stellar Blade was still a really great game and deserved a lot of hype and a lot of praise, at the end of the day, there was still self-censorship, and censorship most likely told by Shift Up to happen from Sony. But now, amidst all of this drama and also, of course, backlash regarding censorship, the producer has tried to reassure fans that the original devs have the same feelings about censorship as we do. It says, in once again seeking to ease the fears regarding the remake's commitment to honoring its source material, the RePOP producer and CEO of its developer, Dragami Games, Yoshimi Yasuda, has assured fans that the dev team behind the original release of the cult classic hack and slash title have absolutely zero interest in seeing their work subjected to censorship. Now, there are a lot of really good statements that have come from this CEO, this director, and also a lot of the people behind this project we have heard multiple times at this point from Yasuda specifically. They don't want to censor it. They want it to be as close to the original vision as possible. But of course, while I want to have faith and I want to believe them, I want to have my trust placed in them, I will not believe it until I see it, because there is so much within Lollipop Chainsaw that could be censored, from the humor to panty shots and outfits to, you know, cute little sexual themes, we'll just say. And it would be relatively easy to, you know, change a few things around, because we know how easy it actually is for developers. Not that it should happen or that it is good, but it's pretty easy for them. Look at Stellar Blade, for instance. Within the game, we see images in tutorials of the uncensored costumes, yet the costumes you can actually equip have things like black tights or, you know, shorts underneath skirts, the, of course, cleavage hidden away. Those are pretty, you know, obvious changes to us players who have seen the uncensored images, but it couldn't have taken them very long to do. And we do know that there is a little bit to be worried about here. I personally have always said we should not get a new Lollipop Chainsaw because of how easily it could be butchered, but it is becoming repeated so many times by this director that they don't want to censor the game that it's hard not to believe them. Yasuda, who also served as a producer on the original Lollipop Chainsaw, had provided this insight into the internal debate. Therein, the tweet that he made, or post he made, said, "We, the original staff, have the same feelings about censorship as you do." And it's a relatively simple statement, and this could mean a lot of things, but judging by the things he has previously said, like they really are aiming for accuracy surrounding the original game, and he had even said, you know, that it will feature the original scenario and script without any changes, and the dev team is fighting to the best of their ability against censorship, that they have promised it so many times at this point, and they have tried to reassure people so many times that if this game was to be censored, they would lose all all credibility within the industry, and that's what happened with Shift Up. I mean, we days before release were told it was uncensored worldwide, everybody was praising Shift Up, and then we found out that wasn't actually the case. And if this game ends up being censored after all of these promises, nobody is going to trust them again. And of course, in the comment section, there are people who are a little bit mixed on this, saying, can we really trust you? I hope this is true, but also, this is great to hear. Like Mark Kern had said, great to hear. Learning the Law said the original game aged like a fine wine, not just the outfits. The jokes are hilarious in a world where everything has to be safe. If your game is rated M, you are already sacrificing the market for a specific audience. Censorship is not the way. We will see. And this is a game that I will be playing day one at release. I'm eagerly awaiting it. And I also have previously streamed the original Lollipop Chainsaw release, and I do want to again in the near future, but closer, so that I can actually directly compare these two games. And I hope that I notice absolutely no censorship. I hope that this genuinely is going to be the release that we have all wanted. But again, there is so much in this game, from the outfits and the humor, that could be slightly altered, and then the product in totality would be a disappointment if that was to happen. People are saying things like, I hope this is an actual honest statement and not some random PR stuff to pull a bait and switch. I agree. It definitely could. I mean, we will not know until we have the product in our hands and we have actually seen the full-blown release. But when this sentiment has been shared so many times on so many occasions, I do really want to believe it. Plus, you also have to consider the fact that half of the team, maybe even more than half of the team that is working on RePOP, were part of the original game's release. So I do think that they want to protect their product and ultimately respect fans, which is not something we hear about happening very often now. Of course, we will judge the final product. Feelings mean nothing if you do it anyway, which obviously is definitely the truth. If they end up releasing this censored, we would all be very disappointed, but unfortunately, it would not be very surprising, and I hope that this does not happen. And we still don't have an official release date nailed down. It sounds like it's going to happen towards the end of the summer, so probably like August, maybe September, but I think that either way, there's a lot of hype surrounding this release, and I genuinely cannot wait for it to finally release, to see if they were truthful all this time, and they did actually respect what fans want, and they did respect the original vision that they had with Lollipop Chainsaw. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this, give it a like, and if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.